Hello everybody, I am finally back. I simply could not resist making a build video for Logan freaking Grimnar's new sculpt. His upgrade is amazing. I've been a Space Wolves player for a long time. It was my first army and I am absolutely stoked to get started for this. So I haven't really had a chance to look at the sprues. I got mine a little late, so I'm going into this a bit blind. It has been a while since I did one of these videos, so I'm a little nervous. But let's get to building and chatting a little bit about Space Wolves. All right, so I did hear that he's got a monster base, and this is stupid huge. I kind of like it. I did do Aryak earlier, and I was pretty happy that he's on a 50 mil base. Oh geez, after I learn how to focus stuff. There we go. 50 mil base was pretty cool. It's what Lord of Contagion used to be on, but this is cinematic, and having a kit. Sorry about that, I got a little distracted. My cat was eating plastic. Having a, what I'd call like a, I guess Chapter Master is the right word for it, or Primarch sized kit, just a diorama base and everything is amazing. I'm so freaking happy. Real quick, before I get started, I've got my X-Acto knife, some GW glue. I changed my clippers. I don't know if I had these last time. I think last time I was using the Tamiya snips. I've also got some basic wire cutters, but I started using some God Hand, just some basic of the 125s, I think is what it says. How do I? Oh, is this? Oh well. Some pretty simple God Hand snips. I think they were like 25 bucks, and they've been great. I know that's pretty expensive when these are like 5. I'm gonna swap this blade out because Logan Grimnar deserves the freaking best. Oh no. Ah. My like collection of hundreds of blades is finally almost done. All right, grab me one of those. Get this swapped out really quick. And watch me mess up and cut myself because these are stupid sharp. Okay. All right. I don't think I'm going to need to magnetize anything, but I will probably be doing some sub-assembly because I want to paint this guy to a very high quality. Let's see if I can make sure the glare's not there. All right. So looking at these instructions, it's pretty similar to Space Wolves Terminators, which is not too surprising. And Thunderwolves are nearly identical to the old Thunderwolves. Okay. Ooh. I don't know how I feel about the wolves' paws being on the rock base. We'll figure it out when we get there. All right. Okay. Let's get started. So I've been just doing a massive amount of Space Wolf stuffs. I got basically 2 of the starter boxes full. Terminators, Aryak, I guess this, and an extra thing of head takers. I guess that's it. For some reason, I guess Nyal got errored out. I don't know. I thought I ordered Nyal, but I checked the shipping and the little label that comes with the box packing slip. I just forgot about it. So I'm going to go grab him later. And I'm just going to clip off a lot of the pieces at once because I really dislike having to, glue something, boom, pick up the sprue, pick up the clippers, clip it up. So I'd rather just kind of bulk when I can. I'll get 6. Oh, this pelt. Oh my goodness. This pelt is amazing. I'm gonna stop trying to raise it up to the camera because it looks like it's decent enough quality. And I don't like when it gets blurry. And snip that off. All right. So I'm snipping at the sprue so that I can then go and snip really detailed close without warping anything. I'm gonna go in with my clippers. I'm gonna scrooge down onto the camera and just try to cut that off. These gates right here might be my second least favorite gates. First least favorite is on Space Marines when it's right at the bottom, just backpacks in general, because they put them on this nice smooth rounded part and then hidden up in there where I can never get a clean cut. And it drives me bonkers. So, Logan Grimnar. He has had, honestly, his last sculpt was pretty good. Actually, let me grab it really quick. All right, so this is my previous Logan. I was still doing my Space Wolves in kind of a darker, you know, in retrospect, pretty much black blue, a very gray. But this model's fantastic, and he was a boss. Just absolutely great. The cape was so over the top. I loved it. I'm never getting rid of this mini. I did make a custom base for him with a dead Word Bearer on it. But one of my buddies who plays Word Bearers is painting it in the scheme of his Word Bearers. So I don't have it with me. Let's see here. Just a little scraping with the back of my blade. Making sure I don't leave anything visible. Go in, kind of trim that down. Now, oh geez, this is 10th edition? Sorry, my brain is also a little fuzzled because it's just been a heck of a month. A lot of personal stuff, a lot of work stuff. Heck of a month. So, I think this is my 5th edition playing Space Wolves. They've definitely changed a lot. But this edition might be one of the ones where I just feel the most... uncertain is not the word, but there's something about their current detachments and restrictions that bothers me. So let me say that first and foremost, I like to play a lot of Crusade. I go to the GW events when I can. I've been to every Grand Narrative and plan on going to every one in the future. And I don't really care to bring named characters, or I guess epic heroes, in Crusade. Because to me, Crusade is, here's my character. I've got lore for him. Whoa, that's a lot of glue. Him or her, them. And I want to watch their story progress. I want to see how their story evolves. And yes, I'm a huge sucker for Logan Grimnar, Ragnar Blackmane, Ulrich the Slayer, Njal. They're classics. I know we lost a lot of named characters, but we kept the core bundle, and that makes me happy. Actually, Aryak's still around. He came out, I think it was the 5th edition. So yeah, I think we've got everyone from 5th edition. Kind of went back to our roots. Except, well, we do have a good chunk of named characters and epic heroes. We lost out on a good chunk of just Space Wolf specifics, in that we no longer have, you know, like Wolfguard Battle Leader. We do have that. We've got Wolfguard Battle Leader, and he is awesome. He hits like a truck. We have Wolf Priest. You know, let me get painted once. And I'm so happy with them. Wolf Priest, Wolfguard Battle Leader. You know them, you love them. They're fantastic. What they lack is, how do I say that? I feel like I'm entitled, or acting entitled. They're limited to Space Wolf units, and Space Wolf units are limited to them. And with how character focused is it two? I think two of the detachments are extremely character focused. No, only one is Saga the Bold. I guess I am a little hung up on that. I want to play Saga the Bold and I want to love it. I wish it was all character units, not just Space Wolf character units. Because with it being just Space Wolf character units, I have power armor. I can't do, if I leave the epic heroes at home, I can't do Terminators with characters. I guess that's it. Now, I do know that I can bring any of the Space Marine stuff at any time, and I do. I have so many converted minis and stuff that's painted. Here's my Lieutenant with Combi weapon for my Space Wolves. I finally got my hands on one, or I should say, I found the sprue in a pile of shame I didn't know I had. It was like Christmas finding kits that I hadn't built yet. It's just great. And I also understand from a game design perspective that, you know, some of these units are very powerful. All of our stuff's quick, and that might lead to some weird stuff. I don't think it would, but our stuff's all very quick, and we can have units of 20 Blood Claws and 10 Grey Hunters, and really, the buffs you could put on those units with core Space Marine characters could get quite a bit out of hand. 20 Blood Claws with a Librarian, that's pretty crazy. Because Librarian gives them, I think, a 4-up invul. That's really crazy. Now you've got 44 wounds in power armor, 4-up invul, so they're basically nearly Blade Guard durability. I can't think of any other 2-wound 4-up invul, because Blade Guard are 3, but moving 8 to 13 inches every turn, because they can advance and charge, and just doing bad touchy stuff, going ham, doing cool stuff. And I'm fine with that. But I want to bring a Judiciar with my head takers so badly. I want to bring a Chaplain and Terminator armor with my Wolfguard Terminators so badly. It's strange to go from so many years and editions of Space Wolves having just like tons of character synergy. I definitely was one of the people who just absolutely fell in love with all the over-the-top Wolfie. Oh god, that's a huge pelt. Oh man, how did I not notice? He kept it. It might have gotten longer. Oh, so cool. Anywho, I love them. I love the over-the-top campiness. I don't think they were ever really a Viking chapter. 5th edition definitely leaned into it a little more than others. But 5th edition also came out with Thunderwolves. If you go back to like all the 2nd edition stuff, it was still, you've got a Wolf Lord with a Wolf Tail Talisman, a Wolf Belt. I think it was a Belt over us. And, you know, let's just say something wolfy. He'd be Wolf to the power of Wolf. That's not new. And there we go. I liked being that special, yes, we're Space Marines, but different. That was pretty nice. Oh man, that's really cool. It was swell. And we still have a lot. I mean, the range, we have the update. Oh, chef's kiss. We got the Dark Angels treatment, not the Blood Angels treatment. We got the Templars treatment. It's good. We're eating good. We have amazing looking Terminators. Just, oh, that is so cool. am I a little salty that this dude can't have a Thunderhammer? Yes. But not in so much that, honestly, it was just because I think Thunderhammer, Storm Shield Terminators are the best. I didn't run them very often. And I'm still kind of like, oh man, should I give him Storm Shields or Storm Bolters? Because that's a lot of bullets. But honestly, it's weird that if I want to bring Lightning Claws, I have to take Assault Terminators. I've never brought a unit of Assault Terminators. Because they're just Space Marine Terminators. Alright, what do these say? We have... Okay, these are just runes. They don't actually spell anything out. On older kits, and I think Ragnar Blackmane, he had runes, but the runes would spell out a word in English. And I think his sword is called Frostfang. Well, I know his sword's called Frostfang, but I'm pretty sure it has a Fenrisian runes that spell that out, which is a little ridiculous, and I love it. Before I forget, if you're happy to see me back, listen to me ramble, watch me build, please like, subscribe, tell a friend. This video has a sponsor. Oh, guess what? It's me, Joe's Prop Shop. I like to do 3D modeling, and I like to 3D print props. I think I did a flamer assembly thing. I'm not going to do those anymore because it's just minis. But I am going to make that. I can't remember the name of his axe, but I want one. I've already made Frostfang. I'm going to make Logan's axe. I'm going to make some Thunderhammers. I'm just going to go ham on cool Space Marine stuff because it's so freaking fun. So if you look up Joe's Prop Store and you want to support me in some way aside from liking, subscribing, telling a friend, leaving a comment, doing all the YouTube stuff, check it out. I've got a My Mini Factory where I sell all the STLs, an Etsy where I sell the physical stuff, and used to sell the STLs, but Etsy's getting weird. Apparently Games Workshop's doing some copyright stuff against digital files, but not physical, so I don't know. Anywho, Logan Grimnar. The amount of times that I was a little obnoxious back in college when I started about Grimnar, the Axe of Mordecai, and just the dumb stuff. Oh, cat attack maybe? Oh, we're good. He walked right by. The silly stuff in lore, like his axe is a demon weapon. That's super awesome. How does he get away with it? Grey Knights don't want to mess with him. They've had their run-ins. A lot of chapters, right? More than average, have Space Wolves been involved in a civil war where you could say they were the antagonist and they won. And it just was always fun to be like, oh yeah, well, you can tell your Grey Knight chapter master, whatever the heck, to ask his headless buddy. Oh yeah, I was a proper obnoxious git. And I'm going to put this guy, I was going to say in a Land Raider and run up the middle, but he can deep strike turn 1, and that's so cool. Oh, the temptation. The temptation to change my narrative army from Astra Militarum to Space Wolves for this year's Grand Narrative is very, very high. So the first Grand Narrative, I did Demons, and it was a blast. I killed a Thunderhawk in melee because I forced it to land and then charged it with just like, it was 9th edition. So I think I had it in my deployment zone so I could deep strike really close, charge it with like Demonettes, Blood Crushers, Bloodletters, and just took it down. Really cool. Tons of fun. Second year, Space Wolves. It was still 9th, I think it might have been 10th edition. Yeah, it was 10th edition. Index, obviously. And I did basically Wolf Jail before, a modified Wolf Jail. I only had 14 Thunderwolves. Wait, 16 Thunderwolves. 2 units of 6 and 2 characters in each. and then just a bunch of supporting fun stuff here and there. I will go out of my way to bring a unit that might not be great, or honestly, I should say that I'm not great at using, because a lot of the stuff I play with, people, I'll read that like, oh, it's dominating, it's doing so good in the meta, and I look at it and I'm like, cool, I'm not good with that unit, but I'll bring them to narrative games because they look awesome. Well, not those. I should say I'm definitely one person who will play stuff that I don't care if it's strong. I have a conversion. I want to show it off. And dang it, I'm going to. I just don't have any in reach. Third grand narrative, Chaos Knights. Now this was last year, and I played in the Dallas, and then the Tampa one got canceled because of hurricane, and the Tacoma one, I hit some financial troubles, and plane tickets just kind of skyrocketed, so I didn't go to that. But Chaos Knights, I repainted my Porphyrion. It was so fun. It was absolutely great. I think this month's White Dwarf has an article on it with some of the people who dressed up. I had a full-size servo harness, and I think I just couldn't wear it the whole time. It was so heavy. Even if, well, it was like 5 to 10 pounds. It was 3D printed, so it wasn't crazy heavy. But when you're wearing that thing and a robe, rolling dice, just a huge, heavy black and green robe, in a room with like 20 dudes, all the same, like full-on cosplay, rolling dice. It's kind of stuffy in there. It gets hot fast. It gets hot really fast. The coolest thing from that was while my army got horribly beat down pretty much every game, I think I might have won a single game, my Porphyrion did get resurrected through the blessings of Nurgle to fight some Tyranids on a different table. I think there was... someone was getting beaten really bad by Tyranids on the table next to me, and the guy had a Biotitan, and it was really cool, but the Chaos guy just, I guess, couldn't handle it, or didn't have an answer for it, and it just kind of sat back and, did work. So, the room judge, which, not really judge, I can't remember what they're called, they have people in each room in full cosplay, in character, and this was a Chaos guy, and he was talking about, do a ritual to Chaos, and the blessing of Nurgle may be upon you, and I just kind of gestured at my Porphyrion, because it has a big old Nurgle flesh leg and a tree growing out of it, and like, yeah, just put it on over here. It was a blast. At the Dallas, I got the Antagonist Award, got an Astra Militarum starter box, and converted it into Feudal Guard, which is what I'm planning on bringing this year. But with the Space Wolves release, oh my goodness, I'm so happy. I have people who, joke about Space Wolves being a meme and all sorts of, the usual smack talk that nerds have with each other. Where the heck is the other guy? Who saw these and were like, oh man, I kind of love Space Wolves now. I've been converting them so they're not all monopose with just basic rotating joints, using bits from Grey Hunters and Blood Claws. That's how this guy's pose happened. Different Thunderhammer, different shield. But if Black Templar come out before the Grand Narrative, my buddy Corbin, who's gone to every Grand Narrative with me, is kind of tempted to change. And I gotta say, I'm on the fence. I've 3D printed armor and a helmet that I need to redo because it's just bad. It's bad. I made a bad helmet for my Feudal Guard, so I look like one of my minis, and I want to be in character and really, push home the silliness of it, Logan, dude, what's going on here? But I've only painted 1,000 points of converted Astra Militarum. Oh man, those kits, they've got detail. They've got, some of them have Space Wolves level detail, and I'm using Cities of Sigmar conversions on them. So it's a lot of stuff. My list has 30 horses in it. And I'm not painting anymore. It'd be 1,000 points of tanks and artillery. Okay, back to this. Oh man. So I love wrist-mounted Stormbolters. I hate wrist-mounted Stormbolters that don't have a hole already drilled, because I can already tell. I mean, you know that thing where you paint eyes and they're all weird looking? That's how my Stormbolters look. All right, let's get this going. I'm just gonna kind of, slather a bit of glue on this guy. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to glue this little contact point with a droplet. And after the video, I'll probably go over the model with a little, some magnifying glasses. These guys. And I made some sprue goo, which, if you are unaware, it's basically Tamiya extra thin cement, and you dice up some sprues and you slowly add basically these guys over time, letting them fully dissolve, and it thickens up the glue a little and makes it really easy to patch cracks or thin gaps on minis. Just, it's nice stuff. I tried to make it earlier, and I had a few different plastic glues, and I was like, well, I think I had like a half empty one of these and some whatever Hobbytown uses, some of their extra thin. It's like a generic glue, but they're extra thin generic glue. Right when I opened that thing, I swear the fumes got on my hands. I don't know what happened, but my hands were covered in it. And I just said, I'm not using this. So I might have poured all that into a little glass jar, put some big chunks of sprue in there. 2 days later, I had a big, hard, fully dried glue mess. Okay, I like this. I like this a lot more than this. It bugs me that on the old one, it's basically just, we're going to cut this off. How do you have a drum magazine that gets cut off? For the new one, it's got the more new Primaris look. I know there's not really such thing as Primaris Terminators, at least lore-wise. I guess it's aggressors. So it's not like Logan went through the Rubicon or anything. Wait, shoot. Yeah, Rubicon's what Primaris do. All right, what do we have next? What's next? Gluing the arms on. All right, that's pretty easy. Just a little, droppy drop there. So the next thing is, with all the changes to Space Wolves, my whole mentality of how I play them out the window. My previous lists were, okay, I know how to use Thunderwolves. I love Thunderwolves. 6 Thunderwolves, 2 characters, like a Gladiator Lancer, a Vindicator, and then whatever the heck else I feel like playing. Usually some Incessors, Plasma guys with jump packs, probably Assault Intercessors with jump packs, which, oh man, I'm definitely really tempted to get another kit of Blood Claws let down the line, get some jump packs off eBay or something, and make some Blood Claw posed Assault Intercessors with jump packs, because the Blood Claws have such cool poses. But now, I don't really have that kind of bully unit. Thunderwolves could just run up the middle of the table and your opponent had to deal with them. And that would free me up to do whatever the heck else I wanted. Thunderwolves are in a great spot now. And I honestly think a unit of 6, if they can come in 6s still. Yeah, they can. Yes. If they couldn't, I'd be upset because I would have too many Thunderwolves. I think I only have 16 painted and based because the 2 units and 2 characters each. Oh, is that smooth? I mean, I still think they're great. The 3 damage is awesome. And it's making me kind of get into a more unknown. My old lists, I was just like, you know what? Invul saves. I loved 6 Blade Guard in a drop pod with a Judiciar, Rapid Ingress or whatever. Just get on the table ASAP. Come at me, guys. Okay, these pieces are slightly different. But I had invul saves everywhere. It was great. Now I can still do that, but I'm definitely looking at other units. The Iron Priest giving a single gun rapid fire is pretty dang cool, but downside, the Predator las cannon version isn't crazy insane. Upside, I don't have to find a Horus Heresy las cannon Predator or build the old one. I just don't care. I'll bring it with a Lancer. It's awesome. So with what I did earlier where I just kind of chopped off a bunch of pieces, these ones are really similar. These are the pistons for the shoulder pads, which all of the Wolfguard Terminators have. I can't remember if the basic Terminator kit has these, but I gotta say, I've never put together kits with these bits, and if I get another kit of Terminators, I'm gonna do some heavy battle damage and use my little hand drill with, I think I've shown it off before, a little circular saw, and cut big gouges into the shoulder pads so you can see down into the pistons. But these ones do have slightly different sockets. So, oh man, I hope I didn't make a mistake. Looking at them now, I'm like, these are still so similar. Yeah, big one on the right, left. Yeah, there we go. I have the Armageddon Crusade book. I'm looking at it right now. I haven't had a chance to go through it, which is wild, considering how much I was invested in the War of Armageddon when I first got into the hobby. Just, it's been a tough year, but why not tonight? I'll just crack it open, read it, look at some pretty pictures to fall asleep. Because I think there's rules for epic heroes in Crusade, and wouldn't it be cool if all of the Space Wolves' greatest heroes banded together in one epic crusade? Which is, geez, was that 500 or 600 points of characters? That's not much. Okay. Shoulder pads. I'm going to do clip at the base, a sprue so I keep that gate. I also, just gonna chuck that, might be entering Logan Grimnar, probably all of my entry, entering Logan Grimnar into the Rusty Nurgling next month. I am in the greater Dallas area, which is where one of the two citadels are. And every year they do 1 or 2 painting competitions called the Rusty Nurgling. Just kind of depending on how things are going. It's exploded. Last year was huge. GW's marketing has gotten crazy. With all like the license stuff through Starforged, which gotta shout out to them. I think it's Starforged. Let's see here. No, this is a different company, but I got one of their magnets. Starforged makes the really nice stuff, like the backpack and all. They made custom trophies for the Rusty Nurgling, which is amazing, and I'm kind of salty because I've won the Rusty Nurgling twice. I got best in show, but it was I think the first was 2018. The second one was so long ago it didn't have a date on the certificate. They give you a piece of paper and your name on the trophy. But myself and another local painter have won twice. I think there's 10 or 11 winners now. And it's really just so cool to walk in and see. I don't know how to describe it. Just my name on something that isn't mine, that I didn't make, that I earned. And not like I put in the hard work at my job, I earned my paycheck. No, this was like vindication for my love of the hobby. And it's just really cool. I do want one of those little trophies, though. They're really cool. They're really, really cool. Starforged also made the new tournament trophies. So Games Workshop no longer does the chain swords. Let me show you one. These are the old. Let me move my camera back. These are the old GW trophies. I've heard the joke several times. Oh yeah, and mine's chipped. That it's Forge World resin, so this is one of the most expensive trophies you can get. It's worth its weight in gold. It's just great. They stopped using these. One of the reasons they're great, though, is it's hand designed. If you look at this, you can tell that it's a very old design, and it goes back to, I think, when they were making pewter stuff. And having one of these is really special to me. This was the Dallas one where I got the antagonist. Not to gloat, but it's really fun. You know, I'm watching a battle report on one of these big, like, 100,000 subscriber YouTube battle report channels with people who are just putting in so much good hard work, making amazing content. And I've got one of the trophies that they've got in the background. And that's really like, ooh, I feel warm and special. Let's see here. Mine aren't, like, I think most of those are for tournament play, or it's definitely a lot harder to get one. But I do have one from tournament play, though it's sportsmanship. I got a best sport, a best painted, and an antagonist, and a super old one that they definitely don't do anymore. Oh, check this bad boy out. Back in 2019, I think. 2019, GW did a tournament in Dallas and didn't tell anyone. I don't even remember how I found out about it. I think it was like I was at the Citadel or at somewhere and they said, oh yeah, there's like 200 person tournament at this convention center. I brought a really silly list. It was just a bunch of plague drones. I had so much fun. And it was some of the first awards I've ever won for, non-participation. It was a very amazing moment in my life. And I hope I didn't come off as like bragging, because that was not the intent. It gave me the confidence to do things like this, to show off my work more, to go to events, to be myself in front of people I don't know. Because that's pretty much what I did that day. And I mean, I think that's really important. Almost as important as how awesome Logan Grimnar's axe is. I mean, aside from the the braided leather, I think this will be pretty easy to design. It's a pretty straightforward axe. It doesn't really have a traditional power unit. Like, I mean, power axe. Because it's a demon weapon, it doesn't need power. It doesn't need a generator. And then I'll do some like really fancy concrete style cracks instead of big gaping mini cracks. Oh, I want to paint it separate, but I know I'll mess up the hand. Okay. Oh boy, here's the tough one. So I've been trying to get better at faces with Space Wolves. These are ones where I definitely wish I could... wait, I got it. Boop. Let's see if I can... There we go. I've been trying to do better, and I'm happy with where I'm at, but I know I can get a lot better. So I've got the magnifiers, some super tiny brushes, and in the past, almost all of my heads were airbrushed. So I'll do this. Just a quick 2 or 3 color directional airbrushing. And I realize all the ones I'm holding right now are white as heck. I do like diversity in my minis, and I'm still learning how to do darker flesh tones. It's pretty darn difficult and different. But when I started painting Voton, there we go. A few boys. Oh no. I think these all go in here. They have a lot of heads that have obvious ethnicity differences, which is great. And it really got me started thinking about why did I wait until I saw faces that made me think of different skin colors when, I mean, sure, Fenris is a death world, but it's not an ice world. There's all the climates, they just change all the time. So there's no reason we can't have variety in skin tone. And oh wait, these go there. I'm trying to keep my HQ heads, my head taker heads, and my infantry heads separate for the ones I'm painting for the first batch. And then after that, all hands are off. Everyone can get anyone's head. All right, big boy. So I was looking at this and really hoping first that they wouldn't put a gate on Logan's head, which, oh geez, I'm still zoomed in. What if I zoom in ×2? Okay. That might work for future videos. Let me see if I can... Yeah, we'll roll with this for a bit. Let me know in the comments if you like the super zoom. Well, I probably won't do the super zoom. Or back to how it was. Hoping they wouldn't do a gate on top of Logan's head, because I have to smooth that out. And sure, it's probably going to be in Terminator plate. Yeah, you won't see that. But also hoping that his head would be its own piece, so that I could do my what I think of as a little cheater pig airbrushing technique. But you know, painting faces with a brush, I'm practicing. The 2 faces I showed off earlier, I think were, nope. I was gonna say 100% brushed, but no, they were both airbrushed. I've got a few of them on my paint station that are just, I'm working on full brush work. It's something I'd like to get better at. Okay. So the instructions are just like, hey, put his head in. But there's some stuff going on here. So first off, Mr. Grimnar has a wolf pelt, a necklace, a head, and a whole lot of potential little thin bits that can fly off. And then looking at the model, there is a little indent here, a little indent there, and I'm gonna have to get the pelt up in that, and his head right there. So what I want to look for with dry fitting is what parts on this match up over here. I do like a little tip, but I kind of learned how to use one of these with older plastic glue, meaning it had kind of hardened a little. So it came out in these pseudo thick blobs, and with the current, you know, a new fresh batch, it comes out way too fast for me. So I'm gonna kind of tap it off screen a bit on a base to get some of the glue off. There we go. So that I don't flood the mini with plastic glue. Oh my gosh. Oh, he's so cool. And like his old one, this is an angry old man. Actually, man, I don't know. That's a tough call. I think I like the old axe better. I love the big wolf bit. But I also don't really like the straight axe look. I like the curved a bit more. So it's a tough call. I do love that the new axe doesn't have power cables because, again, demon weapon. There is a demon inside of this. And Logan is just so awesome and powerful that he keeps it contained. I don't hear anything about, how many rune priests sealed it. It's cool. It's all Logan. He's awesome. He is the people's champion. All right. Let's get a little bit here. Which is part of why I need to read the Armageddon Crusade. Because, oh no, in Armageddon is when... Sorry, gotta get a paper towel. Space Wolves had their first run-in with Grey Knights. The citizens and militia of Armageddon had witnessed a demon. A lot. They fought against them to save Armageddon. Oh my goodness. That is menace in miniature form. These two? Oh boy. Those Mangry boys. And the Grey Knights were like, hey, cool, you saved the planet. Thanks. Now you gotta die. And Logan said, hey, no. We lost how many Fenrisians, how many good warriors, space marines fought to preserve the lives here, and how many of these humans, oh my gosh, fought to do the same. What was the point of them fighting if you were just going to kill them? And the Grey Knights just kind of gave him the middle finger. So Civil War I started. Okay. Here's the, oh my god. This design's almost purely hidden. So I'm going to dry fit this. And I can kind of see it there. Sorry, getting a little headache from being crouched over so much. And I'd love to be able to take all the time in the world to paint it as is. But it's kind of like if I spent all the time in the world painting the inside of a rhino. Yes, I could show it off. Yes, it'd look cool. Yes, I'd know I did it and I'd be proud of it. But I think I want to get him on the table, and I don't want to subassemble this whole huge chunk. This is a lot. This is a whole lot. So he no longer has, oh my god, a big old metal wolf head, which I always thought was kind of cool. He's just got a huge Thunderwolf pelt. Gargantuan pelt. Oh man, he's menacing. That base is huge. If anyone can explain to me in layman's terms, just like explain like I'm 5, the difference between strategic reserve, standard reserve, and how that interacts with deep strike, that'd be fantastic, because I understand what strategic reserve is. It's like, oh, I'm going to walk on the table. But Logan can bring a unit from strategic reserve in and turn early. Okay, that makes sense. But he can use his deep strike. So is it that there's 2 pools? Like Logan and friends, let me zoom out a little, boop, are going into strategic reserve with deep strike. And then I'm going to put this Wolf Priest and say 10 Blood Claws in normal strategic reserves. They don't have deep strike. And then I'm going to put 10 Grey Hunters and this guy in a drop pod in standard reserves via deep strike. So Logan and Wolf Priest and friends all have to do the 500 point rule. And then drop pod buddies I'll just have to do the half the units can't be in reserves rule. Is that right? And is it half the unit points or half the unit count? I've looked around and I can't seem to get just a straight like bullet point. Here's how it works. And I'd like to know, because I did buy some of the new drop pods. I do plan on doing a build video of at least one of them. I am going to riot if GW keeps making wolf heads split down the middle. But I already have 3 of the old drop pods. Zoom back in a little. That looks a bit better. And from the new rules, honestly, I don't see why I would want to use the new ones. I have a magnet case and a foam one. Those new drop pods are huge. That footprint's big. They seem about as difficult to transport as a Knight Titan. And when your army has as much infantry and diversity as Space Marines can bring, I don't have room for that. So I'll probably use them as terrain. I also don't know if I'll ever need 5 drop pods, or can legally bring 5 drop pods. Oh boy. Oh man. Seeing him painted by so many different amazing painters online, and the previews and all that goodness does not do this mini justice. And I am like this close to being priced out of the hobby. It's getting crazy. But I say that as I have like $600 of Space Wolves. In my defense, I did a log of selling and haggling and trading to get all these minis. As expensive as it is, these are still, in my opinion, some of the best quality miniatures you can get for tabletop gaming. I've done MCP, I've done Star Wars Legion. Heck else is over there? It's not a Games Workshop game. Tons of 3D printed stuff. Shatterpoint. Someone tried to get me into BattleTech, but I'm just not into that one at all. And I gotta give it to Games Workshop. Their stuff has spoiled me. If I was still building like ye olde tactical marines, yeah, and they were costing this much, I'd be like, hard no. But I'm not. These new kits, I mean, they're a very good callback to the old ones, where the only major difference is that the legs and torso are connected, which I'm okay with, because the old ones were kind of derpy with the ball joint. Oh, Logan, you're so handsome. You are a handsome boy. All right, let's turn this page. Let's see. Oh, man. Okay, it's time to build some Thunderwolves. I know. I've built so many Thunderwolves and Fenrisian Wolves. That and Rhino chassis tanks are some things where I kind of dread building them. It's just like, don't make me do this again. Like I said earlier, I'm glad the Iron Priest got changed so that wait, what the hell? Oh yeah. So I don't have to, not have to, I don't feel like I should try the Predator Annihilator. I think it's the Annihilator. With, went from 4 las cannon shots to 7 las cannon shots. That's a lot of las cannons. That sounds really cool. Hey, they changed it before I could track one down. I don't have to worry about it, because the old Rhino chassis pre-Primaris vehicles, they're just bad. They're so bad. I was trying to get a Horus Heresy one because one of my buddies has one, and he said it was a delight to build. If you can attest to that, I'd love to hear about the differences in those kits, because it's hard for me to believe him. I do have a Land Raider. It is a classic. I do want Games Workshop to make a different one. Like, I want one for my Death Guard. I don't want to build another one. I just don't. I love building, but there are things that are just chores. And for the most part, the box tanks to me are chores. Like a Leman Russ, it's still kind of a chore. Chimera is a chore. The Dorn, not much of a chore. Let's see here. Impulsors and repulsors, they're pretty nice. I don't mind them at all. I'd love to see more variations on them. Oh man, being exposed to glue fumes all day. I don't want to make this one a two-parter, but if my headache doesn't calm down, little wolf foot for you. Wolf foot. I might have to call it early. We'll breeze right through this. 27. I am so dumb happy that Logan can roll up, deep strike in with wolves. Yo, I'm in Terminator armor. I got this deep strike thing. And don't worry, my dogs are just gonna hop on. They're just gonna hitch a ride. It doesn't need to make sense. I think he takes up 4 models in a Land Raider. So him and the Terminators is 14 transport. His Terminators. Which is bananas. I need to double check his rule really. Oh, I can't double check it because I'm recording on my phone. I want to check his rule to see if he can bring any unit in from strategic reserves turn 1. Because if so, I'd be very, very tempted to have him and some Terminators in a Land Raider, and then if possible, bring in like some Inceptors, some Skyclaws with a Wolf Priest, which is just what I call Assault Intercessors with jump packs, because that is a mouthful and Skyclaws sound so much cooler. Just bring some of them in turn 1. That'd be great. I haven't had a chance to see, because I haven't played with the new Space Wolves at all. Oh wait, I think I had a 1,000-point game. I had a tiny game with them, but it was right after the box came out, so I haven't tried like the Terminators or Head Takers. I don't think I used them at all. So I haven't had a chance to see how our Terminator's new rule of -1 toughness, or -1 to wound when targeted by higher strength, works, and if it works well. That's a rule that I think Death Guard had on their Death Shroud before their codex. And I gotta admit, Death Shroud are so cool. I also play Death Guard. But I think theirs was only while they were leading a unit and only in melee. So it still hasn't really clicked that our Terminators are always -1 to wound if you're targeting them with something higher than strength. Or, yeah, if strength 6 or higher is -1 to wound them. Sorry about that. Getting a text message. Let me just turn down the volume on my PC real quick. All right. So it hasn't sunk in like how good that is, because the role for Terminators to me in the past has always been, hey buddy, here's a bunch of Thunderhammers. Good luck. I'm going to squish anything. There wasn't anything they couldn't handle. But now, I have to think. I'm not sure what the role of our new Terminators is. Oh, crud. Obviously, punch. Punch. But that Relic Great Axe is cool. I can bring a Power Fist and Assault Cannon, which I never did in the past, but the Assault Cannon is a special place in my heart. A special place in my heart, and I did want a little extra melee punchiness in the unit. It's a lot of attacks with the Mastercrafted power weapons. But I'm just so used to Terminators always having Power Fists that it's hard to adjust to. Let's see, 30. Here we go. Clipping doggies. So, kind of like my strategy in the past was always like, oh, hey, that's a nice big Death Star unit. Have some Thunderwolves. And I can kind of still do that. I play against a friend who likes to bring 10, a blob of 10 Terminators as Dark Angels with a Librarian. So it's 10 of them, I think 9 with Power Fists, 1 with a Power Sword, all with Storm Bolters, some Cyclone Missile Launchers, and he just drops this huge block in, fires off like 40 shots with sustained hits at something, somehow always makes a 9-inch charge, and then just goes ham on whatever he's charged. And yeah, the solution was like, okay, here's some, Death Shroud. And Lord of Contagion just walks in and whoop, sweeps the unit, or here is a lot of Thunderwolves. And just, I'm going to drown you in saves. Now, I do think Thunderwolves can still do that. And that makes me happy. But another thing was, I'm going to get out of this Land Raider with my Terminator Captain and 5 Terminators with Thunderhammers, and they're going to charge in and do some bad stuff. I don't know that our Terminators would do that now. I think with stratagem support, sure, but we don't really have a way to buff our Wolf Guard Terminators, I should say. And I am one to always want to bring the chapter-specific unit over the generic. It's like compulsion, especially with Space Wolves. I mean, Grey Hunters and Bloodclaws were basically dead to me for 2 editions. Honestly, yeah, 8th and 9th, where they, I think 8th edition and 9th edition, it was Games Workshop just being like, hey, these are Firstborn. We need to sell these kits because we still have them, but we don't want to make more. And we finally hit the spot where they ran out or got low enough that we got a Primaris version. Come on. And they're expensive. Similar to... Oh boy, I did not read instructions before I did that. Similar to... honestly, like every Space Wolf unit but Thunderwolves, I have to look at them and be like, okay, if I'm going to bring these as my troops, how do I use them? What's the play here? Do they have a spot in my play style? I'm going to definitely have to go over that nose with some sprue goo. Every Fenrisian wolf, every Thunderwolf has this just abominable gap. Oh, there we go. I hate it. I hate that gap. All right, well, I'll fix that later. Yeah, do I have... What am I going to do with 10 units of 10? That's what's wild. I like to bring infantry as like little skirmish. Whew, you're not skirmishing 10 guys. They're going to do some damage. Okay, let's see, 33. But I kind of looked at 10 Grey Hunters and a Wolf Guard Battle Leader in a drop pod. To me, that is classic Space Wolves, and it seems pretty dang cool. With our guys moving a little quicker, with OC being a little higher, and with Grey Hunters effectively being Assault Intercessors on steroids, I like the way it looks. It looks good. Drop down, spew a ton of bolt carbine shots out. I know that I saw a lot of people saying, oh, their bolters need AP. They're useless without it. Well, no, they don't. They're fine. And here's why. Because their melee weapons have it. Every Grey Hunter has a chainsword. Intercessors get a point of AP for shooting, and Grey Hunters get a point of AP for melee. Grey Hunters also get a 3-shot gun. So Beat that, intercessors. The other thing I plan on doing is getting a whole bunch of the Bloodclaw and Grey Hunter bodies, getting a box of intercessors, and mushing them, and then having way, way, way too many infantry. Because it's just fun to convert infantry. They're easy. There's a lot of potential. There's a lot of combos. And I have like 20 intercessors, and I'd be okay redoing all of them with the new Grey Hunter poses. Oh, sorry for the rambling. I'm so excited to finally be doing Logan. I got so here's the long and short of why I'm so tired. I had to go to Florida to help with my mother's knee surgery, help her like recoup a little. And that was the release weekend. That was last weekend. So I ordered all of my stuff online. And, you know, while I'm out there, I keep seeing posts on like Reddit and the Space Wolves Facebook group that, oh, my stuff got in early and I'm really pumped and hyped and excited. And I didn't think to look at tracking, but I just keep thinking, oh, it's going to be there waiting for me. And I had a friend on standby, ready to go over and, you know, grab it. So it was sitting on the porch. It arrived Tuesday, which is the day I flew back. And my flight back got delayed for 3 hours. It was just the series of the worst events. So we knew there was a storm coming, and the 25. The people at the airport were like, "Hey, come on, hurry! We need to get on this plane. We need to get on this plane because there's a storm coming, and if we get on fast enough, we can beat the storm and not be delayed." So there was a respectable hustle until there wasn't, in that there were some people who were pretty entitled to, oh, I have a service dog. He needs his own seat. Nah, that's not how it works. We didn't beat the storm. We got out there. They sealed the cabin, and then I think the airplane like got put into reverse, moved about a foot, and then stopped. And they came on and said, "Sorry, we've been delayed because blah blah blah, big storm." You know, it's okay. They said like 20, 30 minutes. Cool. I have my Steam Deck. This will be great. This will be simple. I'm sitting next to an elderly couple. I don't have to worry about kids or anything. Always canceling headphones, Steam Deck. Plane starts moving before I know it. Cool. And they say, okay, here's the thing. We got clearance to leave, but there's like 5 planes in front of us, and they're staggering them out 8 minutes at a time. So, okay, quick math, 40 minutes. Cool, awesome. It's our turn next. Another storm. Oh my gosh. Oh, so the flight ended up going north out of Florida into the Carolinas, then hooking a left to go west, and then straight south into Texas. And then I had to fly down below DFW because there was a storm in DFW. I got home and just kind of passed out, and I've just been exhausted ever since. And I've also been eyeballing Logan Grimnar like I want to build him. But for the past years, my wife's been suggesting I do build videos because I do enjoy it. She enjoys that I enjoy it. And I've just kind of been nervous. So I told myself that I'm going to do one with Logan, or I'm not going to build him. One of the nervous things is I actually bought a kit online just for a build video. It's the Coven Throne, I think, from Fantasy and Sigmar, like this big undead flying chariot on swords. I love the mini. I've wanted to build one forever. That's probably a 2-parter. But hey, I'm here. I'm building. I'm talking about something I love. I'm not reading the instructions where I should be. Oh my goodness. And we're doing it. And that's what matters. So, another weird thing with Space Wolves coming out. Heck are these? We got... So when the head takers were shown to come with these Fenrisian wolves, I was like, oh, cool. The old Fen wolves are gone, because I think they're a little derpy. Like, these are way better, and they're very similar to Fenrisian poses, the Fenrisian wolves. And then I saw, oh god, there's cat hair everywhere. I saw we're keeping them. It's like, okay, that's weird, but I'm okay with it. I need to get a set because they're dirt cheap. Just kind of like hang out in the backfield, prevent some deep strike, or just run up with everyone. Be a little nuisance. Be the best boys. What's crazy is I'm pretty sure they're like the same profile on paper. And this is where I gripe, is the new rules for movement is like, it's all straight. Which, I play a lot of casual with close friends. We try to stay up to date with whatever the actual rules are, because when we go to an event, we want to play the right rules. Apparently, that's 2 inches on this little guy. And that's like, what? So, like, we used to move like this. Like, there's a charge into the glue. But now, it's technically like, to accommodate and prevent rules abuse in tournament play. That is a little silly. I understand why, I respect it, but it's a little bit silly. So what we usually end up doing is, we'll go through all the movement, and it's like, okay, I charged here, I made my charge, or I moved, I made my charge, and then I do that, so I don't look dumb on the table, because it's all about the rule of cool. Within the rules of the game, unless your opponent agrees that the rule of cool is the only rule that matters. And I had a few of those at the recent Dallas narrative, which I think I rambled too much, but Starforged made the trophies for those as well, and they're no longer doing those chainsword trophies. Last year was the last year they did them, so now they're these really cool, full-on metal, gorgeous, like half Space Marine, half Tyranid things. You've got to look them up. I got to play against the guy who won the best painted with beautiful Eldar. I'm ashamed I don't remember his name. After our game, we arranged the table a little, took a bunch of pictures. Funny story, I'm pretty sure that on the back of those is a tiny engraving on what it is, where on the chainsword one it's like right on the front. But he looked at the engraving on his and it was the wrong trophy. I think it was like antagonist. But he was like, I don't care, I'm never going to see that. It's a gorgeous trophy. And the antagonist guy was great. It was a Voton player who you could tell was just kind of like, he gave off like first event vibes, and he was just having a good time. They really get into the faction stuff where it's, this is your team, what's like the right thing for you to do on this planet. And he was just kind of like, hey, I'm Voton, I'll do mercenary stuff. And like at one point, the Chaos team and the Imperium team were kind of like, come on, boy, we'll give you snacks, come on, boy. And he just kind of jumped around at all the teams, which ended up causing some big difficulties on the organizers for like what's actually happening in the story. So he was throwing this big wrench into the narrative, into every team, messing up every single team, basically derailing them from their goals, I believe fully unknowingly. And he got the antagonist, and honestly, that's just so great. In the past, antagonist and protagonist were game mechanics. So it'd be like, okay, here is the mission, and here's what the antagonist has to do. And it'd be like, your warlord can never get within 6 inches of the center of the table. Or your army can never do this. You must be wholly within your opponent's deployment zone at the end of the game. And that's how it's been for all of them. I remember the grand narrative where I did, well, okay. That's how it's been for most of them. The first grand narrative, they didn't tell anyone. It was just like, hey, you get a hero, or a villain. But when I went with my Space Wolves in the second grand narrative, I very much remember I was like, man, I want to be a hero. That's super cool. That's so awesome. I want my Space Wolves to get a heroism award. And it was, you have to control, like, your warlord must be in the center of the table at all times. And I've just got like all my Thunderwolves in there, some vehicles surrounding it. I've got it in there. And I'm playing one of the Goonhammer guys. If you read their articles, it's I can't remember his name. He was a really nice guy. He's got the Rainbow Warriors. And my warlord's, plinking away at his Gladiator Lancer. Like, I'm just going to, take this thing out. I'm confident. I'm playing Stormlance, and I fall back to charge back in, and he overwatches, and he connects with one. And I fail my invul, and I fail the reroll, and my warlord dies. And I was just like deflated. And I'm really glad they changed how heroism and whatnot work, because I kind of got punished for trying to be heroic in that I'm going to go in and fight something big and scary. Now it's you, the person. Are you doing something to interact with the narrative in a way that would be seen as protagonist or antagonist? And that is awesome. That makes me want to roleplay. That makes me want to do so much more than, oh man, I need to make sure that my warlord stays alive and does all this stuff, and what if I don't have a unit that can do these things? That's rough. So them swapping it, perfect choice. Super happy. Okay, so I've got 47 and 48. Okay. So, let's zoom back in here. We have a little divot, we have a little ball socket, and a little nubbin. Divot, ball, nubbin. Because I don't know if I'm going cross-eyed, but those were hard to see. Nice. Now we've got two balls. Hey. There we go. And there we are. And then 49. But yeah, this year, again, I wanted to do all three of the narratives. And at some point in my life, I am going to get to do the three smaller narratives and the grand narrative. One day. Not this year. Some troubles led up. Had to cancel Tampa. Oh, I had bought tickets for Tampa and Edmonton. And then we got some financial troubles. Well, troubles makes it sound like we owe the mob money. We need the money. That's the polite way to put it. So I canceled both of those. What the heck? Oh, there's a little gap there. Okay. And the Edmonton one was like, hey, we don't do refunds. So I kind of used the current American political climate at the time, and I guess still currently going, as like, I don't know if I can get back to my country. And they gave me a refund, which was good because we spent it on groceries. But I'm waiting till the last possible moment for the grand narrative, and I don't think I'm gonna have to give that one up. This one's tricky, so I'm just gonna set this down and do this. This is how I should have been doing it from the start. That's a. There we go. Kind of snaps in there. Glue. Glue? I'll 3D print. If I'm doing Feudal Guard, look for the super overweight. I've gained a lot of weight in the past 6 years. It was downhill after the pandemic for a lot of people, including me. The kind of big guy wearing blue and red long coat with armor, just absolutely sweating his life away, pushing around a cart of way too many minis for a 2,000 point game. That'll be me, and I'll be having the time of my life. Come on. And if I'm really lucky and things go really great the remainder of this year, next year when I turn 40, I will be able to spend that celebration at Warhammer World. That is a lifelong dream of mine, to do the pilgrimage. Well, not lifelong. I don't know. I want to go to Warhammer World because it's cool. I have a early 90s mail order catalog for Games Workshop that has weird stuff in it. I got it when I bought a collection from someone's storage unit. It's in mint condition. I want to slap it down on the register and be like, give me this Bugman, or gosh, I can't remember what it is. There's like a troll pervert, troll delinquent, I think. There's some really weird stuff, like all the old squats, the Rogue Trader minis, just like, yeah, do you have this in stock? And I think it'd be funny, and they'd get a kick out of it. I also would have been tempted to mail it in. Okay, stop trying to get ahead of yourself. We have, right here, if you don't want Logan to have dogs, there you go. Oh my goodness. Good Lord. Where's the normal Space Marine? You'll do. He's gonna be eye to eye with Primarchs. I don't think he hits as hard as like the Lion, but he's as imposing as the Lion. And you want to use the stratagem? Tough. You gotta pay extra for that. Okay. That's another thing where I haven't really taken that into consideration, is if I've got Logan and his Terminators, big old footprint, I go in, I charge something, and they want to use like Armor Contempt. Cool. You sure? That's 2 command points. That's a decent deterrent. And I think Bjorn used to have that, and it was pretty good. And now Bjorn is just like, hey, free command points. They made all of our named characters, sorry, Ulrich? Maybe except Ulrich. Okay, they made the big 3 feel like the big 3. Logan, Bjorn, Blackmane, the chapter masters, and the big boys. I don't know. Aryak's technically a lieutenant. Y'all and Ulrich are not chapter or wolf lords. They're cool, but Blackmane has always been a blender. He's still a blender. It still makes me happy. I am staring at a pile of 20 blood claws, and I'm going to find a way to run them. I used to run them with Blade Guard, and it was a blast. I'll probably run them with Head Takers. I just threw I think it was 6 Blade Guard and Ragnar and an Impulsor, and just move up, next turn, get out, advance, punch. Or I'd do Stormlance and not need him. But now that he gives Blood Claws reroll all wounds, combo that with maybe a little +1 to wound stratagem. Oh boy, it's gonna be a lot. Okay, what the heck? So we've got this. We've got. I'm just super excited. I'm hoping to get a game in this Saturday, and then I'm gonna play my buddy on Monday. Hopefully, play one of my friends Saturday and another friend Monday, and then paint. It does mean that tomorrow I have to put magnets on a lot of bases. A whole lot of bases. And 3, up to 1. We've clipped everything for Logan. All right, let's get it cleaned. Let's get it on. And then we got to figure out... Okay. So I'm noticing that there's no fur on these bits. So I should be able to sub-assemble the wolves pretty easily. And there's a light at the end of every tunnel. Okay, we've got piece 44. We've got piece 45 and 46, maybe? Did I get that wrong? I got that horribly wrong. There we go. So the instructions kind of show it like this, and I kind of wish it was just straight on. Again, tired, been recording for far too long. Definitely just gonna have a cold drink and lie down on the couch for the evening. Get that out of there. Okay. You know what? Cold drink. Throw something a little mindless on TV. Maybe a stream. Maybe something Mountain Miniatures. Really love those guys. If you like old world content, and they do Horus Heresy on a sister channel that I can't remember what's called, but it's Luca, Steve, and a few other guys whose names I can't remember. I've been watching mini wargaming forever, and it's just guys having fun playing Warhammer, and that's what I like when I watch a stream. Or I watch Drawfee and Secret Sleepover Society, and that's just a group of friends having fun playing games or drawing. And I remember when I started doing this, someone commented that I just like to put you on in the background while I paint. And that was just kind of the highest compliment I could have received. That someone is hearing my voices. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Thank you for the compliment. It warms my heart that I can be the background sound for someone else. See, Joe, that was easy. All right. Okay. All right, okay. So, I have one dog coming around the side. Oh, man. This is... What's the, Oh, dude. What's the Black Templar guy? High Marshal Helbricht? Oh, my good gravy. Oh. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Here's a little secret I do. When I want to play on the table with the mini that I want to paint, I do the teeny tiniest little drop of super glue, and I try to avoid joints. So I want it to be a flat surface to surface, not any piece that moves up and I don't know how to describe this. Something I can easily pop off. Nope, like that. That is impatience. Whoa. All right. Witness my dexterity and tremble in fear. But I'll give it a little droplet of super glue, not plastic glue, because generally I can just pop the super glue off without any issues. And, you know, sometimes I'll be playing and the model gets nudged and it pops itself off, which is all part of the risk. But, sorry, I'm trying to make sure I don't get too much super glue on this. But, I get to play with my mini. And paint the mini to the standard and quality I'd like to. So, kind of a have your cake and eat it too. Have your Fenrisian ale and drink it too. Oh yeah, I'm super excited. Look how they massacred my boy's face. if you've never assembled the Fenrisian wolves, they have the exact same issue, as do Thunderwolves. Breaks my heart. I know I saw someone on Facebook with just a gorgeously painted, tons of OSL object source lighting, where the axe was glowing and it was gorgeous. And I saw that was the, oh gosh, cat hair everywhere. Why did I have to brush my cats today? That's how the heads were done, and my stomach sank. I was just like, oh no. And then extra super tip, if you have a hobby town near you, they have their basic brand. It's some generic, they just throw their own label on it. They also have an accelerant. And then I like to pull the accelerant out with a plastic syringe and then just do a little bit on the base to make that droplet dry faster. If I did it right. Oh boy. Oh, there's some heft to this guy. It's the weight of responsibility. Oh. This is so cool. Sorry, I never thought the day would come when, oh, they even got little cables. Space Wolves would have a mini like this. I guess you could say that old Logan on Chariot, that's a big dude. But holding Logan and looking at the new Grimnar, there's no comparison to the old one. The old one was fantastic, and I loved it. The new one makes... Yeah, there's just... It's just so pretty. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed Logan Grimnar as much as I did. Please let me know in the comments. Again, I think it's weird to have to say it, but all the big YouTube channels I watch are saying it, so please like, subscribe, comment. And I'll do another one of these later. Bye.